Hey everyone, this is WobblyWallaby, back with another Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love video. I demonstrated the insane power of Sunlight when she's 7 out of 7 core hero skill and has a high deposit. But for my free-to-play players, do you feel inspired? Well, before you decide to invest in Sunlight, let me tell you the free-to-play experience. I'm back on my free-to-play account that I used in my free-to-play Kalitzberg videos. I had tried Kalitzberg at 4 out of 7 on this account and then later on at 7 out of 7, so let's begin with 4 out of 7 for Sunlight here as well. After all, the reality for many free-to-play players is the lack of advanced ruins. I was super skeptical about being at 4 out of 7 since you only have 100 stacks of solar power, and when you hit 100, you automatically enter Scorching Realm. Now, going Super Saiyan and melting your targets with Scorching Realm is pretty cool, but this only lasts 12 seconds, although you can extend it for 5 more seconds with Sunlight's Blessing, and then you lose all your solar power and you can't attack for 3 seconds. Losing all your solar power is a big deal since it causes Sunlight's top DPS skill, Solar Flame Shower, to really suffer. Solar Flame Shower relies heavily on solar power to stay up and also to do heavy damage. By being forced to use Scorching Realm, it limits your use of this skill too. Now, with these limitations, I'm going to go all out on damage. We got 17 seconds, so let's make it count. Here I show my adventure handbook. It's at 20% deposit with 1634 raw attack, so that's what I'm working with. Truly a free-to-play level of a handbook. So let's begin with the Legend Golem. I charge up solar power with Sunlight Blessing. I cast Sunlight Grace to convert to water. I cast Sunlight Ritual for the skill damage buff. Then I cast Solar Flame Shower before I am near 100 solar power. So here you see Scorching Realm is cast and I immediately watch my status bar. I have 12 seconds before Scorching Realm is about to run out. I cast Sunlight Blessing to extend it for 5 seconds. You must do this while both Scorching Realm and Solar Flame Shower are active. Don't do this too late, otherwise you'll mistime it and your damage will absolutely suffer. That was a close one, but it went down just as one rotation of Scorching Realm was about to complete, so that was great. The timing at 4 out of 7 is extremely strict. I honestly didn't expect the boss to melt that fast, but I'm glad it did. So I definitely was impressed. Now here is my gear overview. I threw together some free-to-play Sunlight gear, no MVP cards, and many of the stuff I had used before with my free-to-play Kalitzberg account. Now, one problem I found when building Sunlight was her lack of ignore defense when compared to Kalitzberg. It was much easier to hit 200% ignore defense with Kalitzberg, since penetration percentage contributes to her ignore defense, whereas Sunlight, she just has a ton of penetration percentage and skill damage, but not so much ignore defense. It did really hurt my soul to equip the Rosa Chain instead of my Skeleton Bracer. Unfortunately, we had to hit that critical stat. Next for food, I use Original Will Ice Cream for damaged MVP and mini monsters. Against the Legend Golem, I knew I wouldn't die, so I didn't use any anti-death food at all. Next, here are my attributes. I max Strength first, and then Dex, then the remaining into Vit. Under Super Saiyan mode, I have 103.5% penetration, 87.5% skill damage increase, and 199.1% ignore defense. Now here's a breakdown on my penetration percentage. The Child of Golden Sun core hero power adds a ton, but it does rely on solar power stacks. Blessing of Goddess is another huge source as well. Next is the skill damage breakdown. Under Scorching Realm, you get a large amount, and under Sunlight Ritual, you'll get even more skill damage versus monsters, although it won't show up in your stats. Next is Ignore Defense. I was definitely grasping for all sources here. For this account, it was a Kalitzberg account, so I didn't need as much Ignore Defense, but I could really feel the struggle for free-to-play players as I tried to get 200% Ignore Defense. Next is Advanced Ruins. I really don't have good ruins for this account. Here's my Undying S Ruin. I lack movement speed, so it doesn't do that much. Here's my Solar Breakthrough Star Ruin. Here's my Glaring Enlightenment Ruin. Here's my Sunrise Barrier Star Ruin. Here's my Bestowed Radiance Ruin. And here's my Sunlight Mercy Star Ruin. For Arcane Ruins, I use White Blade Ruin the most, and that's what I focused on. War Preparedness is for the shield, and Spirit is for the SP recovery. Next, here are my skills. On auto, I have Sunlight Crash and Path of the Sun. On manual, I have Sunlight Grace to do the elemental conversion. Then I have Sunlight Blessing to extend my time, as well as to build up my solar power. Then I have Sunlight Ritual, which I cast before any battle against a boss. And then I have Solar Flame Shower, which is my primary DPS skill, and you want to cast this as you're approaching the 100 solar power. And then I have Scorching Realm. You can't cast this manually, but it's here just so I can see the cooldown and the indicator. I can only hope that one day this free-to-play account will have it at 7 out of 7, then I'll truly show the world what this is capable of. Well, until then, I guess it's just sitting here mocking me. Next, let's try floor 2 of Legend Isles. It's the same setup as before. Do Sunlight Blessing once to get solar power. Then Sunlight's Grace to convert to Ghost this time. Then Sunlight Ritual. Then I activate Solar Flame Shower before I hit 100 solar power. I start attacking. Then Scorching Realm activates automatically. Then I watch my status bar to make sure I use Blessing before Scorching Realm runs out. The Sea Spear Totem is at 0%. I'm on cooldown, so I just stare at him really hard. When you're not able to take a boss down in one rotation, it is really painful. Having to build everything up again does take a lot of time, and it's pretty hard mid-battle. Here, the only thing I did swap is the Malguai card for more damage to ghost monsters in my accessories, and I also ate an anti-death food. So floor 1 to 2 was cleared pretty quickly, but unfortunately that was all. For floor 3, this took more than 17 seconds, so it was impossible. I tried many times, but I just couldn't burst them down, especially for phase 2. For phase 2, it gets so messy and you can get killed so much by insta-kill stuff that is truly painful for Sunlight. And it's the same with Museum as well. 17 seconds just isn't enough to burst down the dragon. I could get it to about half, which is still pretty good for the amount of time it took. And then I also tried in other instances such as PSR and also Ghost of Palace. And again, when you're off rotation, your damage is really bad, so you definitely can't take down these bosses very efficiently. So unfortunately, at least for solo, Sunlight just isn't that great for a free-to-play player. Sure, it's impressive for bursting down some bosses, and I must emphasize some, but you'll need teammates to help you for many of the other ones. I would still recommend Kalitzberg, as she's good as you progress from 4 to 7 to 7 of 7 core hero power, whereas for Sunlight, she's really not great unless she's 7 out of 7. So I wouldn't invest in her unless you're really lucky with your ruins, or you really like doing very strict timing to take down bosses. I will say though, I was very impressed at how fast she melted bosses in Legend Isles 1 to 2, especially on this free-to-play account. I had pretty low expectations, so when she took down those bosses that quickly, I was impressed. I will, however, keep trying to get her to 7 out of 7 so I can truly show her potential for even a free-to-play account. Also, when people say Sunlight can outburst Kalitzberg, I do agree. She can, even at 4 out of 7. She was able to clear these bosses faster than my free-to-play Kalitzberg could ever do, but during the downtime and when she had no solar power, she's incredibly weak, and probably in a long battle, the damage would eventually even out. Klitzberg in the long run, who has consistent damage, will probably outdamage Sunlight or at least be equal. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a better understanding of Sunlight, even for a free-to-play player. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a video that I'd recommend, and if you want more Sunlight videos, check out this playlist over here.